Hi students, welcome back to our English class. Today we are going to discuss a poem, The Ballad of Father Gilligan by W.B. Yeats. Let's see his profile. W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats, was born on July 13, 1865 in Dublin, Ireland. He was the son of a well-known Irish painter, John Butler Yeats, and Susan May Pollen Fix. He was an Irish poet, dramatist, and prose writer, and one of the foremost figures of 20th century literature. In 1923, he received the Nobel Prize in Literature for his inspired poetry. He is one of the few writers who completed his great works after being awarded the Nobel Prize, which include The Tower, The Winding Chair, and other poems. He passed away in 1939. Let's see what is a ballad. A ballad is a poem or song focuses on a specific story. The Ballad of Father Gilligan is a touching narrative that illustrates God's everlasting benevolence and how he intervenes in the life of an earnest priest at the time of immense need. Father Peter Gilligan was always worked for saving the souls for his poor parishioners. For half his flock were in their beds or under green sods lay. Here, the Father Gilligan had no time for sleep or rest because half of his flock of people in his parish were ill or dead, buried under the green grass. He was very tired in carrying out his priestly works day and night during an epidemic in the Irish countryside. He had to not only give the last communion to his poor folks who were dying in large numbers, but also conduct funeral services for them. One evening, completely tired by the strain of extensive duty, Father Gilligan was nodding off in a chair and had slept lightly. Suddenly, a dying man sent a message to call Father Gilligan. This made him very sad. In despair, Father started to grumble and complain of his tiredness, that his life was without rest and always troubled. Then he immediately asked God forgiveness, saying that his tired body had complained to his soul. While he was praying, the wearied priest fell asleep by the side of the chair. The moth hour went from the fields, that is, the night came and the stars began to peep. Next morning, at dawn, the sparrows were chirping. The moths reappeared. He woke up and realized his mistakes. He was surprised that he had slept all night. He cried in sorrow that the sick man might have died while he slept. Shocked at his failure to perform his duties, he rode his horse speedily to the man's house. He rode fast and in a rough manner over stony or rocky paths and marshy land, without caring for his safety. At the sick man's house, wife opened the door and asked in surprise why father had come again. When the priest asked his wife whether the sick man was dead, she told him that the sick man died happily as a bird after the priest's departure. Hearing this, father realized that some miracle had occurred and knelt down to thank God. The divine God had compassionately sent an angel to conduct the last ritual of the dying man. Thus, he saved both the sick man as well as the priest were saved from their problem. God in the sky, who governed the planets, the universe, still took pity on a man lying tired in his chair and helped him in his hour of need. God take care of all things, both big and small. Now I'll give you a model reading of the poem. The old priest Peter Gilligan was weary night and day, for half his flock were in their beds, or under green sods lay. Once while he nodded in a chair, at the moth hour of the eve, another poor man sent for him, and he began to grieve. I have no rest, no joy, no peace, for people die and die. And after cried he, God forgive, my body spake not I. He knelt and leaning on the chair, he prayed and felt asleep. And the moth hour went from the fields, and stars began to peep. They slowly into millions grew, and leaves shook in the wind. and God covered the world with shade and whispered to the mankind. Upon the time of sparrow chirp, when moths came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor. Mavron, Mavron, the man has died when I slept in the chair. He roused his horse out of its sleep and rode with little care. He rode now as he never rode by Lockey Lane and Fen. The sick man's wife opened the door. Father, you come again. And is the poor man dead? He cried. He died an hour ago. The old priest Peter Gilligan in grief swayed to and fro. When you were gone, he drowned and died, as merry as a bird. The old priest Peter Gilligan, he knelt him at that word. He who hath made the night of stars, for souls who tire and bleed, send one of these great angels down to help me in my need. He who is wrapped in purple robes with planets in his care had pity on the least of things, asleep upon a chair. So students, read the textbook thoroughly. If you have any doubts, please ask me. See you again. Thank you.